In 1993, Nicky Winmar famously confronted racist Collingwood supporters. A week later, the club president said,
"As long as they conduct themselves like white people, well, off the field, everybody will admire them and respect them."
In 1995, Michael Long was vilified by a Collingwood player, leading the AFL to introduce rules against racial vilification. From 2005, Heritier Lumumba was nicknamed Chimp by his teammates.
For the Collingwood Football Club to suggest that it needs to embark on this investigation to get my truth and it wants me to participate in that, it is rather insulting.
In 2012, Joel Wilkinson, a Gold Coast Suns player, claims he was vilified by a Collingwood member. The next year, club president Eddie Maguire apologised for making light of racist abuse meted out to Adam Goodes.
What a great promo that is for King Kong.
Get Adam Goodes down for it, do you reckon?
No, I would have thought so. Or you absolutely no.
You can see them doing it, can't you? It was just something that came out, wasn't even thinking it, wasn't trying to promulgate it, wasn't trying to be a smart aleck. It was simply a slip of the tongue mistake.
Eddie Maguire's been a dominant figure at the club since taking the reins in 1998. Today he sought to cast the findings in a positive light.
This is an historic and proud day for the Collingwood Football Club. I've been here for a long time and we've done a lot of great things. What's happened on my watch is this. We have built a fantastic club. We have commissioned this report. We look back now and say, right, okay, in 2021, what is it we need to do?
Tanya Hosch is the AFL's General Manager of Inclusion and Social Policy. Tanya, is it really a proud day for Collingwood?
Perhaps not the form of words that I would highlight. Obviously a very sobering day. Confronting issues of racism is never easy, but I think the intention around that comment was clearly to acknowledge the fact that it is a positive step that the club has taken in commissioning this report and talking to us all about it.
Do you think that other AFL clubs would benefit from doing what Collingwood's done?
I think that we all would, yes. I always think that for every incident of racism that occurs, not just in football but anywhere, and becomes part of the public discourse, there must be dozens and dozens that we never hear about. So I think that this example is a good one and perhaps one that other clubs may follow, and certainly is an opportunity for the AFL to take a look at how we're addressing these issues also.
The report found that Collingwood has a history of protecting its brand and prioritising damage control over dealing with the complaints of players about racism. Isn't the Proud Day line today almost evidence of that kind of thinking, of trying to put a positive spin on something that is, everyone would agree, appalling, and that it's not actually historic thinking, it's current thinking?
Look, I think this is something that probably occurs quite a bit. I always think that when racism is presented to us as a topic of conversation and something to address, we should be talking about it more, not less. You can't address a problem that you don't talk about, that you don't identify, and that you don't, really seriously drill into. So I think that, that form of words has perhaps been used in many places where the intention is to say we're going to take hold of this and take it seriously, but not necessarily, bringing together, the language with the actions.
The report finds that at times Collingwood was unable to understand the experience of Indigenous players or players of colour, that sometimes it could not see and hear what they saw and heard. That's probably not just Collingwood. What's the AFL trying to do to improve that kind of understanding?
Yeah, look, it's a really, really valid point, and I think you're right. I think it extends to many places. I think that what we do need to do, and the AFL is increasing its ability to do this, is to listen to the lived experience of people who experience racism, and clearly it's not just Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and also listening to the experiences of other forms of discrimination as well. Listening to that lived experience, and I just really want to highlight and call out the leadership of of Jodie Sizer, who's on the Collingwood board, you know, a highly credible, strong Aboriginal woman with her own lived experience, who I think in the press conference today really excelled in trying to bring together the goals of the club with her own lived experience and her own intimate understanding of what it feels like to experience racism.
The report also finds that racism in Collingwood has resulted in profound and enduring harm to Aboriginal and African players. Should those players be entitled not just to an apology, but some form of recompense?
Yeah, and certainly the report does highlight the opportunity, you know, not just for the truth-telling, but also to resolve those incidents in the past. And I'm sure the board will be contemplating how best to do that. And in conjunction, I would imagine that they'll be consulting some of those people who've had those experiences to find out if they're willing to have a conversation with the club and indeed what the right response would be from their perspective.
Tanya Hosch, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Leigh.
Hi, I'm Leigh Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.